The energy crisis is getting worse. It's not going from bad to worse. It's going from a crisis to worse. We're running short of gas as it is, so prices are too high, and we're running short of electricity too, and prices there continue to soar ever upwards. And the energy market operator says the gas situation, crucial for industry, vital for domestic heating, and absolutely indispensable for electricity generation, especially if we're going to have more renewables, well, our gas supply problems are getting worse.
Gas supply is declining at a faster rate than demand. So those shortfalls from 2027 onwards will continue to widen as we go into the future.
That's a bureaucrat speak for demand will outstrip supply, or more simply, we need more gas. Trouble is, politicians, mainly Labor, but to be fair, many Liberals over recent years, have been more keen on blocking gas projects than backing them, and that mentality continues.
We're not going to smash up our pristine environment or our wine country or dairy country, or, we're just not going to do that.
The national self-harm continues. We are an energy-rich nation, turning our backs on our gas bounty, shutting down our coal bounty, and refusing to even use our bounty of uranium. And if you want to see that this is doing what it's doing to real people and real situations, how drastic electricity price increases hurt families and small businesses, well, you just have to switch on the evening news.
We come to a point in our life that we thought it's just enough. Like our cost of living has gone up, our supplies went up, interest rates went up, everything, it was just becoming unbearable, and to a point where you didn't know what the next price rise was. Well, how much do you want to pass on to the customer? Because the consumer themselves are now getting second jobs. The consumer itself is now faced with the same problem of, household bills going up as well.
Yeah, Rocky and his family have closed Caruso's in Sydney's Sutherland Shire. And even at the ABC, they seem to have noticed that power price rises are biting.
Paying more to keep his coffee machine running is the last thing this cafe owner needs. From July, his electricity bill will go up again.
I'm having to work 7 days a week to try to keep wage costs down and everything to cover up the difference that paying more for power and everything.
Of course, when the owner works 7 days a week, there's work for someone else that just goes begging. You get the sense that we're on the cusp of some drastic self-imposed economic pain in this country. And if you think economic pain is something intangible, just have a look how real it is, how human it is, as Rocky Pittarellis makes his plea to our politicians.
Not worry so much about, the popularity contest. Worry about the backbone of this nation. This nation was built by mum and dad operations like us, working hard to get to where we wanted to go. Don't worry about looking popular, mate. Worry about small business and how you can save us. Because we are all a victim of circumstance. I was a loved restaurant. The community loved us. We did all the basics. We were on top of it. But still we lose. And it's just not fair.
Just heartbreaking stuff, isn't it? Yeah, forget about the popularity contests. Do your jobs. On energy, that means making sure we have the coal and gas and nuclear, whatever it is we need to provide affordable, reliable energy. Renewables don't cut it. No one in the world has been able to make the renewables plus storage model work. But what was Chris Bowen doing today? He was launching yet another renewable energy project, the sort of thing that's been subsidised by governments for years and for which $100 billion of new transmission spending is needed. $100 billion. And they've been forcing out coal-fired generation, reliable generation and gas generation. And they're doubling down on all this stuff that has created the mess in the first place. And they're proud of it. And they actually pretend that they are saving the planet, when the unambiguous, indisputable fact is that our policies cannot and will not have the slightest impact on the climate, because global emissions are rising while we destroy our own economy. I mean, today, instead of fixing energy supplies, Bowen was handing out another $6 million of taxpayers' money to save the planet by reducing the farting and belching of cows. The funding will enable them to conduct trials, says the release, on methane-reducing feed supplements, such as seaweed, to livestock, including pregnant cows, to cut methane emissions and the like. That's what Bowen is doing while families hurt. That's where Labor is spending money while small businesses close. Maybe we need to start feeding seaweed to our politicians. I mean, listen to the nonsense spouted by Blackout Bowen as he continues to reject the obvious energy solution, the emissions-free solution of nuclear power, on the basis of cost.
Right around the world, experts recognise that nuclear is very expensive, particularly expensive in Australia because we don't have a nuclear industry to start with. We'd be starting from scratch, without the infrastructure and the resources necessary to underpin a nuclear industry.
It's too expensive because we don't have it, because we haven't done it, because we don't have the expertise and the infrastructure? You don't say, Chris, you don't say. That's the point. Build up the expertise, develop the infrastructure, join the 21st century and deliver affordable, reliable electricity for the next 100 years. If you did that, you wouldn't have to spend $6 million trying to work out how to wrap your hay in seaweed or whatever they're trying to do with some kind of sushi for steers. Just give us back the cheap, reliable power that is Australia's great natural economic advantage.